I want to go to Nicholas Wealth Management President David Nicholas. And, David, you've been saying that the odds of recession this year are low, but also maybe it's too early to call for a soft landing. So this sort of no man's land, how does it inform your investing?
That's right. Charles, we can go all the way back to 1960 and see that the recessions typically don't occur until 6 to 12 months after the Fed pauses, and then the markets typically don't bottom until 6 months after the recession starts. So I think it's for all those bears that are out there that are being overly cautious or keeping money out of the market altogether. We could be sitting on the sidelines for a very long time. So I still think this is a time to put money to work, knowing that if you're owning the right names, we could still be looking at a year to a year and a half out before we see real trouble for the markets.
Yeah, and I think in general, right, the recession call keeps being pushed further and further out, and you got to say, what do I do? Do I sit on my hands? Now, your timing's been was impeccable, but I think you were underweight technology stocks. They're sizzling, my man. Would you reconsider, or what would it take for you to buy some of those names?
I'm going to be stubborn here. Obviously the AI premium is bringing the NASDAQ higher, but the hallmark of this rally, Charles, has been narrow breadth. If you just look at small caps, mid caps, if you look at the equal weight sectors, they're all struggling. So something has to give. The majority of stocks can't be screaming that there's trouble, there's a recession, and 5 or 10 stocks saying that the economy is booming. So what I think is it's really the divergence that has me nervous. If you look to the back half of the year, I think it's those other 490 names in the S&P that'll actually make up some time here, and we'll see selling pressure on the top end of those indexes, Charles.
Right. So the top part of them, I think they've got a PE of 37. The rest of them have a PE like a lot less than less, but maybe half of that. So you're talking value, and I know you've made some moves in a Nicholas dividend growth portfolio. You closed out Paramount. Tell us about that and some of the other moves you're making.
Yeah, so in a dividend portfolio, many investors are looking for income. One of our big rules is if you cut your dividend, which Paramount did, we have to get rid of the stock. But I want to make a distinction. If you're putting new money to work, this might not be a bad time to get in. Obviously, they may be a good buyout candidate. But for us, the quality of the dividend matters, so we got out of it. But I'll tell you a name that we did add. It's a cigarette name, Philip Morris, PM. But this is not a traditional cigarette company in the sense. More than 35% of their revenues come from smoke-free products. And this is interesting, Charles. In the next 2 years, they want 50% of their revenues to come from smoke-free products. So we think it's the best in that industry, and you're getting it at a reasonable price with a 5% dividend.
Oh, smoke-free products? You're talking chewing tobacco?
I think so. Nicotine, yeah, exactly. That's right.
Just busting your chops.
It goes in a different way.
I know somewhere around the world, skulls are still hot. Okay. Hey, so right. Talk to me then about this market. Day to day, moment to moment. There's an old saying, it, never short a dull market. And we both kind of already referred to this notion that there's so many brilliant people out there, masters of the universe types, who have missed all of this. In fact, hedge funds are hugely short tech. They're getting crushed. You really got to pay more attention, don't you, David, when the market is like this?
Yeah, you really do, and it's hard. It's easy to chase these names, and I love the momentum I'm seeing. But again, at the end of the day, as a money manager, we're still trying to. When we think about putting new money to work, we've got to find the new trades and the best ideas, not for what's been in the last 6 months, sure, but where do we think the market's heading over the next 6 to 12 months, Charles? And that's really key for investors.
All right, David, thank you so much, and congratulations, man. Really great timing.